Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Trending Interactive Studios. Today we are going to be going over who I think dies in the premiere on October 23rd, 8 p.m. Central. And we already know that episode is going to run an extra 6 minutes. We also know episode 2 is going to run 76 minutes, making it one of the longest Walking Dead episodes so far. So very excited about that. So I've already done 2 episodes on who I think dies here. In the first episode, I leaned towards Abraham. In the second video, I leaned towards Glenn. Well, in the third video, a little surprising update, but just from what I said, but it's fairly common belief, and I'm going to join the crowd in that, in believing that Glenn and Abraham both meet their demise in this episode at the hands of Negan. There are several questions involving that, though. Are both killed by Lucille? Who dies first? Is there other weapons involved? And all that good stuff. Do they die at the same time? Does Glenn die to Lucille at the start, and Abraham die later on in the episode? Does Glenn die later on in the episode, and Abraham die at the start? All kinds of possibilities. I'm going to give it my personal opinion here on what I think happens. So, clue number 1. I think this is a big part of what happens. You got to remember, in season 6, Abraham was not really fond of the idea of Glenn and Maggie having a child. Then, towards the end of that episode, he switched back and he thought it was a good idea, and he even let Sasha know he would be open to that idea. So, and you saw that the smile that he gave Glenn, basically him saying, this is what we need, this is a miracle, this is awesome, there's a child being brought into this world, you two will be great parents. Basically is what I took that look to mean. So, if Glenn is killed, that could set Abraham off. He's already lost his family, and here he is seeing Maggie and her unborn child lose the father and her husband, Glenn. So that could immediately set Abraham off. There's also the possibility that it's raised at Glenn, and Abraham immediately stands up, or sits up a little bit, raises up again, and Negan, in mid-attack of hitting Glenn, turns and hits Abraham. So that is a strong possibility for what we have happen here in this episode. As you see, I have, let me point up here. There we go. There we go. Up here, right here, I have all 11 characters in front of Negan. Right here. And there's a lot of people we can for sure rule out for several reasons. This is a spoiling episode. I will even label it so everybody knows it. You click on it, you're watching this knowing that you're getting what I believe to be spoilers. So, I think we can automatically rule out Sasha. She's filmed some episodes this season besides the first 2 episodes, as has Maggie. And it's on random. I just put it on random, so you may get some back-to-backs here. We got Rosita here. We know that she's filmed multiple episodes, as has Eugene. So Glenn, unfortunately, right here has only filmed 2 episodes, which is the same as Abraham. Rick, we've already seen a trailer of post-killing. Carl, we know Carl's not dead. He's a big focus going on in season 8 and 9. I think that Carl will be a huge part of it. There's no way, I don't think that Maggie dies. She's still multiple episodes as well, but also just simply because of the fact that she's a huge part of Hilltop going forward, and as well, slightly with Alexandria as well, but she becomes entrenched in the Hilltop community. So I don't see her going anywhere. Michonne is probably the most popular female along with Carol. I don't see Michonne going anywhere either, though I personally thought that killing Michonne, who is my favorite female character, as I just said, might be a good idea, simply because what better way to devastate Rick than to take out Michonne? But obviously, like I said, that's just not what the route I think they're going. There's Daryl. A lot of people want to be Daryl because he's got his own TV show and he's getting really popular in other venues besides The Walking Dead. But unfortunately, it's going to be this man right here and Glenn. So I've watched pretty much all the Comic-Cons. I watched them all talk. And there's been subtle hints that they're trying to say, oh look, it's not going to be Glenn, and it's not going to be Glenn. Oh, it can't be Abraham. We saw Glenn send a video along with Eugene and Rick to Demi Lovato. So no way it's because he was on set. But people forget that he could have filmed that one at any point. Also, we do know that he was there for a little extra time, and that could have been for reshoots or for anything. So just because he was part of that video doesn't mean Glenn doesn't die. Unfortunately, I know a lot of people have been trying to use that as a reason as, no, Glenn can't die. We've seen this video. A lot of people have thought, well, it can't be Abraham because he's just come out flat out. He's flat out saying that it's not the end of Abraham yet. It's not it. There's more time for Abraham. He's got more to do, more to say. Well, I think that's the case with all of them. I think they have more they would like to do. I think they all have more that could become their characters. But right now, all the evidence is leaning heavily towards Glenn and Abraham both finding their maker in this episode. Personally, it's not the route I would go, especially Glenn, simply because it was under the comics, and because of the way they filmed it, everybody is saying it's Glenn, it's Glenn, it's Glenn. So I think it'd be a better surprise if it's not Glenn, especially after all the close to deaths Glenn had. I think it's too easy to say, okay, we were just teasing you to lead to this. It's to me, it's just a cop out. But it is the route I think they will go. And it's not going to make me hate the show. I won't stop watching, even though he is my favorite character. I love it. I fell in love. I'm going to keep watching the show as long as it runs. And I will be doing videos as long as possible for this show. I personally think the way that the death happens is that Glenn is the first one hit, and Maggie starts, reacts emotionally, and it is going to induce childbirth. And in inducing childbirth, that is going to get Abraham up, and then Abraham will might even just be shot. I think Glenn gets Lucille, and Abraham is shot. If you remember, right here, under his coat, he's got that revolver. He's got that gun. I shouldn't say revolver. He's got the pistol. Sorry, guys. I'm not the biggest gun guy, so I'm sure some of you guys know exactly what kind of gun Negan has. I don't, and I'm okay with that. So a lot of people think it's going to be this man, Eugene. It's not going to be Eugene. It would be a letdown to be Eugene almost, because they've said that it's going to be this huge thing, and killing Eugene right now wouldn't be all that huge. He's not there yet as far as loved characters go. I mean, he's liked. A lot of people love him as well, but not to the point of Glenn, who is an original cast member. We're running thin on original cast members. If my thought process is right, we only have 5 left of the original group. So I don't see that being the case. It's going to be an original cast member. It's not going to be Daryl. We already know his storyline going forward. There's been photos released. We know what's going on with Daryl. It is not Daryl. The only 2 people that we know that haven't filmed multiple episodes right now are, well, besides the 2, is going to be Glenn and Abraham, and it's pretty much been released that there's a dream sequence, and being episode 2 is 76 minutes long, I think that's your dream sequence. I think that's when we get to see Glenn and Abraham for a second time, and that's pretty much going to be it. We're not going to get any more of Glenn and Abraham after season 2 again. Now, could we see Glenn and Abraham in the future? Sure, flashbacks. You can always do flashbacks, and in that way, you can still have them do guest appearances on the show and be there. But they won't be walkers, nor will they be alive and on the show anymore as far as what's current in the process. So that's my thought on what we see happen, guys. I'm going to just do a little bit extra here and say that I think that the Morgan and Carol storyline with the Kingdom is going to be very unique and very fun to watch. I do think that at the end of the season, by then we are going to see the Kingdom getting with Hilltop, getting with Alexandria, and working together. And then you'll have Hilltop, Alexandria, and the Kingdom working to start trying to take out various pockets of the Saviors. I think that at the end of the season, we may see the end of Negan. If not, it'll be, to me, at the halfway point of season 8. I think the Whisperers storyline is going to be coming up very soon. I know a lot of people are very excited and curious if they're going to do that. I think the answer is a guaranteed yes. I don't see how they couldn't. So we get Negan now, and I think we get the Whisperers being teased at the very least at the end of this season, and if not just a little bit seen, just very little bit, little tiny bits, and then full-blown Whisperer storyline going on into the next season. So that's my thoughts on what we get in the premiere episode of season 7. The day will come where you won't be, and I think this is it. And then, I'm just very stoked to see this. So the premiere comes out 8 p.m. Central Time. I believe before that they're doing a 1 or 2 hour special to bring people. I think it's 2 hours that haven't seen the show or have forgotten things, to bring you back up to speed. I've watched this through several times now. I've gotten multiple friends involved, gotten them watching the show as well. So which keeps me current, keeps me, I still catch things that I missed every single time that I watch an episode, which I think is a testament to how good this show is. I do hear some people talk about how there's so much things that they left out. Well, that's not really true. There's a lot of stuff that are there, but they're in the background. You have to pay more attention to, and that you could easily miss if you only watch it 1 to 3 times. You got to watch these episodes multiple times so you can start watching for the little things. And this show is easily, to me, the best current show on TV. SVU is still a really good show, one of my favorites, as most of you know, but it's not as good as Walking Dead is at this moment. So thank you guys for watching this. If you have any questions, comments, or just want to like and subscribe, please do. Comment down below, though. Let me know what you think of this video. Let me know what you think is going to happen. And let's just talk some Walking Dead, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't open, guys. Dead inside. Thanks. Peace.
You may now subscribe.